This week, my husband and I took our son on his first ever flight. He did 2 flights in 3 days. It was a whistle stop tour to go visit my grandfather. And I wanted to share what we did that I think worked really well because while it wasn't the easiest flight I've ever had, it definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. First of all, before the flight, I tried to not let my son sleep. I tried to keep him awake so that when we got on the flight, he had an increased likelihood of going down easy. On the first flight, that didn't work out so well. He didn't really sleep much at all on the first flight. On the second flight, that worked much better. The next thing that I did was for takeoff and landing, I fed him. I think it just helps with their ears because they have very sensitive ears to the changing pressure. And so having him swallowing constantly at takeoff and landing really helped. The last thing that I did that I think worked really nicely is I bought two new toys in particular for the flight that worked really well in terms of keeping him engaged. The first was these like spinny things that I stuck to the window and just played with him watching them. He loved that. The second thing was this activity book, which especially if you're screen free like us, I thought worked really nicely. Every page had different things for him to play with, different things for him to touch, and he was enthralled by this book. I can't emphasize enough how enthralled he was by this book. It was actually really adorable. The last thing that I will say that we did was I don't even know what they're called. They're like, they attach to pacifiers to make sure pacifiers don't fall on the ground. I just tied that to anything that he was wanting to suck on. So he has like a little shaker. I tied it to that to make sure it didn't fall on the ground. And that helped to keep everything on his lap and not on the plain floor, which is kind of gross. On that point, another thing that I did now that I'm talking about it is I bought disinfectant wipes. And as soon as we got on the plane, I wiped everything down so that he could touch whatever he wanted and I wouldn't be there kind of freaking out. We have another flight in a week's time. So I'm excited to take these tips and reapply them. Watch this space. I hope it helps. Let me know if you have any questions.